Hello, I'm Dr. Audrey Sussman, and I had a lot of questions this week on using conscious mind techniques to stop thoughts that create anxiety, stress, worry. So there's a technique that I call the 2-for-1 exercise. It's very easy to do, but what we're really attempting to do is actually create a new pattern so that eventually you don't have to work so hard to create 2 positives for every negative. So the way it goes is, think of a situation that's happening that's causing you to have a response of either stress or anxiety or panic or worry. Pick one situation. For that situation, think about any of the negative thoughts that are flowing through that actually increase your feelings. So for instance, I had a client who was going to fly, and she's sitting in her own living room and she's thinking, what if I have a panic attack on the plane? That's a thought. I had another client who was moving to her first apartment. She's never lived alone, and she used to have panic disorder, and she called and said, what do I do with the thoughts? What if I'm in my apartment and I have a panic attack? What if I can't get comfortable? So you're looking for any thoughts that create distress. Write them down. I know that a lot of times we want to shove those thoughts away. It's really important to get them out of your brain onto a piece of paper for this particular type of exercise. So you write down all the negative thoughts, and believe me, if you can create panic just thinking about things, you probably have hundreds of thoughts. So write as many as you can hear yourself thinking that cause the stress. Once you've written those thoughts down, I want you to list them on 1 to, let's say you have 10, 1 to 10. 1 meaning the one that creates the most anxiety, all the way to 10 or 100. And for each of the first 10 thoughts that you have, you want to create 2 possible positive situations. So for my client who was, what if I have a panic attack in my new apartment? What if I can't get comfortable? She changed it around very simply to, what if I feel so comfortable that I just love my new apartment? Now that's a possibility. It's as equal a possibility as what if I don't feel comfortable. Just let me take you all the way to the ending. As it turned out, she did move into the apartment, and she ended up calling me and saying, this is the most amazing thing. All of the positives I created. I love my new apartment. I love living on my own. I love putting things where I want them to be, and I feel so comfortable. I've surrounded myself with things that make me feel good. And then the what if I ever have a panic attack, she answered with, I have all the tools, because we've been working together a while, and I could bring panic down in a snap if I need to. So for each negative, you want to create 2 positives. Now, the kind that won't work. If you say everything's going to be okay, it sounds positive, right? But the unconscious mind goes, yeah, but what if it isn't? So basically, you want to be able to create something that is absolutely a possibility of being true. So I call them stories. The negative things that you tell yourself are stories that could possibly happen, but the new stories you're making up are also possibilities of what could happen. So whatever, but pick one situation at a time. And here's the best part of using this. In one of my clients, I had her create 2 positive for every negative she was doing. And she called me 4 days later and she said, you know, it's really strange. I so hated having to figure out the positives that I just stopped making negatives. That's not typically how most people work, but for her, it worked. For you, when you create the 2 possible positives, make sure that they can be believable. It's absolutely believable that she might be comfortable in her apartment. It's absolutely possible that a person who has fear of flying, after they have all the tools to bring down anxiety, will actually have a moment of fear and all of a sudden it's gone using one of the other tools that I give them. So make sure that they're believable. And every time you hear yourself giving yourself a negative thought, you put them on index cards and you bring out the 2 possible positives. In time, as you keep using this 2-for-1 technique to stop negative thinking, in time, it's almost as if the unconscious part of the mind, you have a thought and all of a sudden the positive one just pops up and you don't have to keep working so hard. So I hope you like this tip. There's a whole article with lots more information that you can get, and the link is below. So, or you could go to anxietycontrolcenter.com and there's lots of articles there. I hope that you join us for one of our workshops, either one of the live workshops or I have a home study course. And I hope to see you in the future, maybe on private sessions. And again, I'm Audrey Sussman from the Anxiety Control Center, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.